$1 trillion. I mean, just let that number sink in for a second. In early 2026, an astonishing $1 trillion in market capitalization was completely wiped from the software as a service, or SaaS industry, in a matter of days. And this wasn't just your standard market correction or a temporary dip. No, this was a massive, industry-shaking financial shockwave. So what exactly caused this? Well, Morgan Stanley hit the nail on the head. They pointed out that the rapid rise of AI agents, ones that can operate enterprise software completely autonomously, poses a massive structural threat to traditional per-seat pricing models. Wall Street completely panicked. They suddenly realized that traditional software, and frankly, even traditional AI tools, are going through a brutal structural repricing. The realization finally hit that AI agents are fundamentally breaking the legacy software business model as we know it. Welcome to This Explainer. Today we are diving deep into this trillion-dollar shift that is completely disrupting the digital economy. We're going to unpack exactly how and why autonomous AI agents are rapidly replacing both traditional enterprise software and those older reactive AI tools we've gotten so used to. If you want to understand exactly where the future of work and technology budgets are heading, you are definitely in the right place. Let's get into it.
Section 1. The trillion-dollar SaaS sell-off, a structural repricing of software.
Let's quickly trace how fast this all went down. On January 27, 2026, Anthropic launched their Claude Cowork Enterprise plugins. Then, literally 9 days later, on February 5th, OpenAI comes out and announces their Frontier AI agent platform. By February 9th, the IGV ETF, which tracks the major software stocks, had plummeted by nearly 30%. Think about that. 2 announcements, roughly 2 weeks, and $1 trillion is just gone. The market woke up to a harsh new reality. If an AI agent can jump in and do the work across your entire software stack autonomously, why on earth are you still paying per human seat to access it? Almost overnight, a really clear dividing line emerged between the vulnerable companies and the defensible ones. Organizations with pure per-seat pricing models, where you literally pay a license fee per human user, got hammered. Salesforce shut about 15% of its value right off the bat, while ServiceNow and HubSpot saw really significant declines. Why? Because their entire revenue model relies on humans physically interacting with the user interface. On the flip side, companies like Snowflake and Cloudflare remain totally defensible because they run on usage-based pricing or provide deep infrastructure. The bottom line here? The biggest vulnerability in tech right now is charging for a seat that an AI agent simply doesn't need to sit in.
Section 2. Agents versus traditional AI. Executing intent, not instructions.
To truly grasp why this shift is so disruptive, we have to understand what agentic AI actually is. We're talking about software entities that interpret high-level intent, plan multi-step workflows, select the right tools for the job, evaluate their own results, and then act autonomously toward a goal. And they do all of this without needing continuous human prompting. This is a massive transition, guys. We're moving away from traditional AI tools that just passively execute single-shot commands toward dynamic systems that can orchestrate complex, end-to-end intent all on their own.
Think about traditional AI for a second. It's totally reactive and bound to a user interface. You type a prompt, it does exactly one task, and then it literally just sits there waiting for you to prompt it again. It's basically a glorified digital assistant. AI agents, on the other hand, are rapidly replacing these older tools because they are proactive and totally headless, meaning they operate behind the scenes without needing a graphical user interface at all. They're multi-step and probabilistic. An agent won't just draft an email for you. It'll research your client, draft the proposal, check the current inventory, and update your CRM database, all in one seamless execution. They eliminate the need for a human orchestrator stuck in the middle.
Okay, so how do they actually pull this off? It all comes down to 4 core technical layers. First up, you have the planner, which breaks a massive complex objective down into bite-sized subtasks. Second is the tool router, which dynamically figures out exactly which APIs or databases it needs to access to get those tasks done. Third, you've got the verifier, acting as an internal checkpoint to make absolutely sure the output is accurate and safe before finalizing it. And finally, the observability layer tracks the whole process so a human can audit the logic leader if needed. It's this exact architecture that allows agents to function entirely on their own.
Section 3. Breaking the per-seat model. The brutal math of agentic operations.
1 to 5. That specific ratio is literally keeping SaaS executives awake at night. Because real-world deployments are already showing that for every single integrated AI agent a company deploys, they can reduce their human software license requirements by a ratio of roughly 1 to 5. When an agent is out there executing tasks via APIs in the background, all that brand equity tied up in a slick, beautiful dashboard, it drops to absolutely zero. If your team never actually logs into the software interface anymore, your enterprise is quite literally just overpaying for pixels. And the unit economics here are just staggering. To put it into perspective, the top 10 AI-native companies are currently generating an average of $3.48 million in revenue per employee. Now compare that to the traditional SaaS average, which is sitting way down at around $300,000. It's a completely different ballgame. AI-native companies simply need fewer humans to operate, which naturally means they buy far fewer traditional software licenses. Every time a new AI-native startup launches, that's one less major customer for legacy per-seat software.
Section 4. The reality of agent adoption, moving from pilots to production.
Now, as exciting as all this sounds, we have to admit there is a massive gap between the hype and actually executing on it. The data tells a really interesting story. 88% of organizations say they use AI in at least one function, and a solid 79% claim they are actively adopting AI agents. But when you look at who is actually succeeding, only 23% have managed to successfully scale an agentic system. There is still a tremendous amount of friction when trying to take these complex, multi-step agents from a fun little pilot program and push them into full-scale, secure enterprise production. But listen, when these companies do figure out how to scale them, the results are nothing short of incredible. Take customer service, which is pretty much the anchor use case right now. Salesforce's Agentforce recently reported around $800 million in annual recurring revenue. That's up 169% year over year. They're boasting an 83% autonomous resolution rate for customer issues, and Forrester's studies are showing massive returns, like an average ROI composite of 396% over 3 years. Honestly, it's no surprise that 72% of enterprises plan to deploy vendor agents this year, because when these agents actually work, they practically print efficiency.
We do need to balance out that optimism, though, because Gartner just put out a really stark warning. They're projecting that over 40% of agentic AI projects will actually be canceled by the end of 2027. Why the high failure rate? It mostly comes down to escalating computational costs, a failure to prove clear business value, and just a massive architectural headache. Trying to force these dynamic agents to play nicely with rigid legacy IT systems often leads to wildly unpredictable results.
Section 5, New Risks and Governance. Let's talk about the dark side of autonomy. With all this newfound autonomy comes some pretty terrifying security vulnerabilities, and analysts are already sounding the alarm. Because autonomous agents can decide, act, and complete work all within a single session, they completely complicate traditional least privileged security models. Think about it. Traditional security usually assigns privileges before execution and then maybe reviews them after the fact. But when an AI agent can execute a massive string of multi-step actions instantly at machine speed, reviewing it after the fact means the damage is already done. The old rules of security are just fundamentally breaking. To survive this transition, CTOs are having to implement some incredibly strict governance frameworks. If you want to stop an agent from taking high-impact, unauthorized actions, you absolutely have to have runtime action validation to inspect every single tool request before it fires. To prevent credential abuse, you can't just share a human's login anymore. Every agent needs its own dedicated, auditable identity. And to stop bad data from spreading like a virus, you need authenticated agent messages to ensure an agent doesn't get tricked into executing malicious code handed off by another corrupted agent. It's a whole new world of governance.
Section 6. The multi-agent future. Ecosystems over applications.
Ultimately, all of this completely shifts our future software architecture. The era of the giant, monolithic, one-size-fits-all software application is coming to an end. Instead, the future is going to be powered by teams of specialized agents collaborating with each other. And this is being built on two really crucial protocols right now. Anthropic's Model Context Protocol, or MCP, standardizes the vertical layer, basically how an agent securely hooks directly into your databases and tools. Meanwhile, Google's Agent-to-Agent, or A2A protocol, is handling the horizontal layer, which is how a procurement agent can seamlessly hand off a complex task to a logistics agent. Together, these protocols are building cross-vendor ecosystems, where AI natively runs the business.
So, if you're an IT leader or honestly anyone responsible for buying software today, here is your immediate action checklist. Number 1, audit all of your per-seat SaaS costs right now, because if an agent can do 50% of the work, you are vastly overpaying. Number 2, start testing AI-native alternatives that mediate workflows in the background without relying on human interfaces. Number 3, absolutely do not blindly renew long-term contracts for UI-bound tools because that software might be totally obsolete in 12 months. And lastly, invest heavily in orchestration and data registries before you go adding a bunch of agents. You have to lay the tracks before you run the train.
To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a pretty provocative question to ponder. If AI truly becomes the primary operator of your business, is the legacy software stack you are paying millions for today already completely obsolete? This shift from traditional AI and rigid SaaS to autonomous agentic ecosystems isn't a future prediction. It's already underway. The organizations that adapt to this headless reality are going to thrive, and those that cling to per-seat human interfaces are going to be left in the dust. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and definitely keep questioning the true value of the technology you use every single day.